All right. Hi, I'm Jonathan Mast, and welcome back to the Wellness Center. And we have some more Denver Pet Partner friends with us. We have Mike and Remy, and we have Karen and Gus. So we'll start with Mike. Mike, tell us a little bit about Remy and where you guys go and what you get most enjoyment out of your involvement with Denver Pet Partners.
Well, yeah, Remy and I, we go to a couple hospitals, and then we're joining a group at one of the local high schools. Remy's a rescue. He's a 6-year-old English setter, and he is just absolutely tailor-made for this. People just go nuts when they see him because he's so mellow. He just come up to people and just say hi, and the smiles he brings to people. I mean, it's just pretty amazing to watch. And because of his coloring, he attracts a lot of attention no matter where he goes. Even when we go to the stores and that, he's like, everybody, oh, can I come say hi? And he's just Mr. Mellow.
That's neat. You were telling me a few minutes ago about the Columbine 20th, that was something that you were part of.
Last year was the 20th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. And the Denver Pet Partners had 13, I think, dogs that were at the park all day. They're good for about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. And we were one of the pairs that were there, just cruising around the park where people were going through a lot of the ceremonies and that, and just giving them a 15 to 30-second respite from what was going on. And it's just something you'd have to do it to understand how rewarding it is for everybody involved.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, so Karen, tell.
Yeah, when you see it at the hospitals with some of the patients, and the nurses all go nuts. It's just, it's just rewarding, and everyone is just so thrilled, and the thank yous you get for doing it are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it says, it's good for everybody.
Cool. Well, so Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself and Gus and what
sure.
you do.
Gus and I have been doing this for 3 years. He's 5 years old. And we, like Mike says, I mean, it's not just, you have a purpose of going for a particular session, like with patients and stuff, but it's not just the patients that actually get moved by it. It's everyone that works, everyone that's there, the hospital, the nurses and the doctors. We did a de-stress event for doctors and nurses. Gus doesn't go to hospitals per se because we did one visit at the hospital and he didn't really like it that much. And what Pet Partners does is it really teaches you how to be an advocate for your dog and know that not every place is going to be good for him. And so you have to be in tune to what your dog is doing. And if it's not good for him, then you need to get him out of the situation and try something different. And so we do a lot of, like, all around the Front Range. We've done a camp for kids with cancer called Lappy Yappy twice, 2 years in a row. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to have that program this year because of COVID. But we have done conference centers. We've gone to what's the conference, the Colorado Conference Center, but also the one that's over by the airport. Mike, do you remember what's the name of that one?
I can't remember it. Oh, I'm just trying to think of it.
Gaylord Center.
Gaylord, thank you.
So we've done the National Speakers Organization, and so there's a lot of private organizations that enlist us to try to break up the day for them. Like Mike says, you want to try to break up the stress. You want to try to break up, the amount of anxiety that builds up when you're, in large groups or large, like conference centers. We did at the Colorado Conference Center, we did the medical conference. And I mean, there were thousands of people there, and your dog also has to be able to handle multiple hands on them. They have to be, and that's what's great about most of our dogs, is that they all have that ability, and that is not true for all dogs. So you have to know whether or not your dog likes to be around that many people and be touched that much. And that's why Mike says that it's tops 1.5 hours, 2 hours, because every time they're touched by a different person, it's literally a spark in their brain. And they are really worn out mentally. It has nothing to do with the physical. It has to do with the mental.
And as Karen said, different animals will do different in different environments. An animal, as she said, that may not like the hospital environment, the smells and the structure. In a school environment where, as we go to Arapahoe High School, you know, with kids coming up by the galore, the different dogs would just go nuts over that. In fact, one of the things the Denver Pet Partner does is with the University of Denver and Johnson and Wales during their finals.
Yeah,
they have dogs hanging out in the cafeteria for finals week.
That's
so
awesome.
That's the whole first 2 years is we did the de-stress events at all these universities and even some high schools. And that's, I think, why Mike and I chose to do Arapahoe, because that's near us. We both live in the same area, and both of our kids went there. And so we kind of, you know, jumped on board. Lisa was already there. And so it was like, hey, that's something that we can do as well, because we're right here.
And one of the things you'll find is surprising is one of the biggest places of success now, Karen and I don't go there, but is one of the county courthouses. You have family court, and you got kids sitting out in the lobby with mom and dad, you know, in another room. And it's just amazing when the dogs go in just to calm the kids for 5 minutes. It's amazing what it does.
Well, it's awesome. Well, we appreciate both of you taking a few minutes. We're disappointed that we couldn't get to experience meeting the pets this year at our event, but I think everybody's going to enjoy at least getting to see you guys, and we're encouraging our followers and friends to upload pictures of their pets virtually and share them with us on our Sedgwick, our social media site. So anyway, Mike and Remy and Karen and Gus, I've met so many pets, I had to think for a minute. But I appreciate you guys taking time, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you, and thanks for the support for the Pet Partners.
Yes, we
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that. It's going to take us a long way.
Great.